Hello, everyone.
What's good?
Say hi to the people, Longeez.
Hello, people.
You're tuned in to the currently unnamed Belters podcast, episode 1.
Now, you thought of a name for it, didn't you?
Well, I was thinking of calling it Chat and Breeze.
I like that.
Now I've said it, I suppose it's got to be a thing.
Well, you've coined it now. That's why I made you do it.
Yeah. And also, I thought we were recording before, but we're recording now, so cheers me on camera.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Big up.
Thank you for having me.
So, no worries, mate. No, it took a while to get you down. You know, I paid your travel and everything.
Yeah, I'm expensive nowadays.
High booking fees. Man's got an agent now, innit?
Yeah, you had to shout rowdy.
Yeah, we're moving mad.
We're moving crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I sort of just decided to make this because I've got a bunch of mates. I'm pretty cool, you know how it is. I'm just gonna chat waffle for a little bit, really. I got Longeez, to
Superhero names, bad.
Yeah, sorry, superhero names only. To bring a track to open with and a track to close with. And other than that, we've got absolutely no plans. I've maybe got 3 bullet points. One of them is baseline. So that sort of tells you
what else do we need to talk about?
Tells you where we're at with that. I suppose we'll jump straight in with the opening tune. Yeah, give it to us, Mr. Longeez.
So this one is by Fonzo. Shout out Alfie. Boy, don't waste my time. Do you want me to I'll explain.
Do your thing, bro.
I'll explain, yeah. This one, he sent it to us, sent it to both of us, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago? I think
a little while ago.
While ago now. I think I had it for a while, and it's like ideal set starter because it's just there's no drums or nothing, just like a vocal that you know, and it's Fonzo, so it's obviously sick. And when it comes in, it's fucking hefty.
You're listening to Fonzo. Boy, don't waste my time. Edit. It's not up.
First time, love it.
Yeah. We love that air. Sorry.
Boy, don't waste my time. Just put your head between my thighs. 'Cause I ain't got time for no games. And if you ain't trying to eat, boy, that's a shame.
Beautiful.
We're getting the hang of this audio setup here, turning the mics
Already,
on and off.
it's so professional already.
Imagine you could just hear us waffling with the tune playing.
You could hear my headphones right now.
So that one, I first found that one with the turning off dub echo. Sorry, with fucking Interplanetary playing it on his mix mag set, didn't he?
Yeah,
because he was starting off with vinyl and then he skipped straight into digital.
Yeah, because it wasn't working out for him.
He was having some issues, which let's be honest. We've all had.
I think fairs. Yeah, honestly, like if you're trying to play, like you saw how rammed that. I hope people who've watching, you've seen that. It's mix mag, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweaty, like not ideal for records. But he wheeled the tune. He wheeled that one Speedy G tune. Played this, and I actually forgot that Fonzo had sent it to me at this point. So I'd had it for a while, but just like didn't even think about it. And then I saw he posted it on his story. I messaged him asking for it. He's like, "Mate, I've already sent it to you."
Yeah, because you told me it was him, and I was like, "How have I not heard you play this before?" Like,
I know,
it's mental.
I know, I'm terrible.
But that's a good point about it being sweaty, because I can imagine like trying to mix vinyl when you're really sweaty and like your fingers are.
Even
like,
if it had worked for the first
record.
one, like you see how dripping he is by the end of it. Like that would have been condensation plus needles plus wax equals
not
skipping.
Definitely not the vibe.
Skipping. Yeah, not so great.
Vinyl is an interesting one. Obviously, you have people like Zach that are like, sorry, Interplanetary Criminal. Sorry,
yeah, first names.
Superhero names only.
Superhero names only.
That are like absolutely smashing it with that sort of thing. But you don't really see a lot of the people who are sort of leading. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, who are like leading the charge in like the underground, really doing anything like that.
I think it was more of a focus when, so like after, like during lockdown and after lockdown, for some reason there was such a rise in people wanting to cut records and press records, and I think like there was still that sort of old garage mentality of just like playing wax. Like even when I was getting into it, it was like everyone was like, your main goal as a producer was like, right, I need a wax release. Like, and I had turntable at the time. That's all I had. So like, it kind of worked. But
Because I remember when I first started speaking to you, because the first time I spoke to Dan was I reached out to him because I was writing some articles for so Belters. It was a magazine initially, and I was writing this article on like the garage scene, and I reached out to Longeez and who else was it? So it was
Xander.
Longeez, Xander, Old Boy, and Eyesight, who's not really about much anymore.
no, Isaac doesn't really make tunes anymore. I
But
don't think.
he was crushing it at the time. Anyway, so I reached out to Dan. I remember I'd seen a couple of his mixes, and he was using like DVS. You were using DVS at the time to mix.
Yeah, like for probably about 4 years, maybe. I had these turntables that I got from, there was just the most amazing secondhand store in, so I went to uni in Cornwall, Falmouth, and there was a store there that like in the back of this charity shop just had like the most unreal selection of audio gear. Like it was crazy the stuff you get in there, and I got my mixer and my 2 turntables from there. And like I think I got the turntables for like 80 quid, and they both came with waterfront needles. Yeah,
Mad.
Yeah, and like the lady had no idea what she was selling me.
I suppose that's it. When you're in Falmouth, I guess they don't really know sort of.
Yeah, and like I wanted to start mixing wax first because I kind of wanted to do it the hard way first. I figured like if I'm going to get into it, I may as well try and torture myself for a bit.
It makes you look extra cool as well.
It makes you look extra cool. Yeah, extra points. But then loads of cool digital shit started coming out, and I started finishing tunes that I actually liked. So fuck, I want to mix these. So DVS box in it.
It was literally the same with me. I started on vinyl as well because I had a friend at the time who was really into his sort of like, he was like Romanian guy or Hungarian guy, sorry, or maybe you know what, and he was really into his like Romanian like minimal house music, and I'd always go around his and we would like mix that sort of stuff, and it was all on vinyl, and then I started discovering sort of the garagey stuff with obviously like Timeless Now and like EC28 at the time and all that sort of thing, and yeah, it just got to the point where it was like I'm putting out tunes on digital, but I'm still mixing more vinyl than digital. It just didn't really make a whole like lot of sense to continue doing mainly vinyl.
That's kind of what happened with me. It's like I was buying records, but then when I go to play out, not that I was playing out much at the time, but when I did, it's like I had a USB with me and I didn't really know how to use CDJs. So like, it's just a bit like, I mean, I love mixing wax still. Like, luckily we still have turntables, so we can still do that. But
we have
like,
one that works.
Yeah.
Big up Tim Font.
Big up Tim Font, who's long-term loan on his Technics.
Yeah, he said he's going to come get them, but he
don't
hasn't,
need them,
so
Tom.
yeah, you're fine, mate.
You
Don't worry about it.
You don't need them.
Yeah.
But
that must have been quite a switch for you then when you started playing out. I suppose, was there like a gap where you were like having to get used to CDJs when you were playing out, or?
I think I was going to pirate quite a bit. Yeah, standard. And like when I moved back here, I got in with like a bunch of my old brother's mates. And like I was mates with them through school as well, and they're all D&B heads. So like, and they would go to pirate like every fucking weekend.
Rinsing the drum and bass.
Oh yeah. All it was. So like
Yes.
that's all I was mixing for ages. Like no shade on drum and bass. But
I mean, we're in Bristol.
I was never like fully happy with playing it. It was fun, but like I don't know. I wanted to do something else, and like didn't know where to find garage for years, and then found a couple YouTube channels.
It hasn't always been garage for you though. Like really, like I mean, you've been producing for like quite a while. Like before you were doing the garage stuff,
Like 8 years, maybe.
which is like
8, 9.
when like I was so I would have been like 14, 15 when you started producing.
That's jokes. That's
Which says a lot, either about how young I am or how
I'm
bloody
the old man.
Yeah.
of the scene, of the Bristol
But
lot.
so when you started, like what? I guess yeah. We weren't much making garagey stuff, were you?
Nah, when I started, I was making pretty much exclusively hip hop, like because I was watching like Rhythm Roulette loads, and like I love the idea. I've always sounds weird, but like when I was a kid, I was always like obsessed with the idea of like a turntable and shit. Like I'd always watch like videos of people scratching and stuff, and just thought like that was like the coolest shit ever. And then when I figured out that all these old hip hop beats were just made out of like soul records that people were chopping up, I was like, I want to fucking do that.
Yeah, because you were a scratch DJ at R&B time, back in uni. Yeah,
I was. Yeah, that's all I know how to do. Because I had one turntable and a scratch mixer with a broken second channel, so I couldn't fucking mix even if I wanted to. But that's all I wanted to do. I would cue a YouTube track and then just literally cut over it for like
doing it at like house parties and.
I did, yeah. I did. One of my first gigs I did was for Jasper. Shout out Jasper Golding.
Shout out Jasper Golding, future guest on the pod.
Best. Wait for that one. That's gonna be good. But he put on a night with a bunch of people. It was like an art show at the start, and then it went into a DJ thing, and like they got me this whole second setup. And like the boys were mixing like house and techno and stuff, and then I was just there with like a couple records. I keep swapping them out and just scratching over stuff.
Scratching over house and techno.
Yeah, and
How did
it
that?
fucking worked, mate. It was actually all right, and I was a lot better at it then than I am now. Like I don't do it much anymore.
I mean, you did a little bit yesterday on, at the end of DJs and PJs.
Yeah, but that was a ride though.
That was a hell of a ride.
For
those that aren't currently aware, I mean, we should start. I mean, I guess we should say we're obviously in the Kafka Radio studios right now. Shout out Kafka Radio. Lauren and Tom behind the table right now.
They might say something.
Listening keenly. Yeah, we've got.
Oh shit!
Oi, in comes the Joe Koshin. Here we go. That's now good. It's a party, baby.
We've got live guests.
Yeah, we've got a live audience, man. Come on, we're chilling.
Go on, Joe. Go hide.
Yeah, go. Yeah, get off the camera, mate. What are you doing?
To be fair, I think if you're down there, you can still talk.
Yeah, we've got a mic down there. Have we got a mic down there?
Yeah, we have got a mic.
Yeah.
No.
If you fancy it, you're not turned on yet.
Yeah, cool.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, there he is.
There he is. The dulcet tones of Joe Koshin. But yeah, so we're in the Kafka Studios right now. They've kindly offered to host the podcast for us. We were here yesterday because I had my show, and then straight after, me and Dan both guested on the DJs and PJs show, which
shout the Constitution.
Yeah, is run by obviously the Constitution boys. They're like Bristol promoters, absolutely killing it in a minute. They put these like crazy parties on. I remember I went to one at Loco like quite a while back, and I remember them firing apple sours into my mouth out of like a super soaker. Mm-hmm. Hell of a night. Yeah. But yeah, no. So they've got a show on Kafka where they just get the DJs to wear pajamas, and
it's like the Eric Andre show but for DJs.
Yeah, it's much less about the music than your standard radio show.
I came in like, I need like certain tunes. It's like that went out the window real fucking quick.
Yeah, I remember you thinking like, I don't really know what to play, and I was like, look, don't worry about your selection. I spent all day before like watching all those shows. I was like, it doesn't matter what I play. But that was like really fun, and they've done loads of research about us as well. Like, they were asking me questions about like my hometown, about like how single Dan is, like all these sorts of things that like are just very important.
Lauren
things.
stalked my Facebook to get dirt on me.
Yeah, those photos. Lauren's got some amazing. So if you want like old, really embarrassing photos, what is it? It's Lauren_Yernan on Instagram. Shout her a message.
She's got the dirt. Yeah, she's got the dirt on me. Yeah, little emo Dan. But I thought I deleted that one.
Always there, mate. The internet. It's like what they used to tell you in secondary school, where they were like, "Careful what you put on the internet."
Yeah, careful. They were right. They were fucking right.
They were so fucking right.
Yeah, they were right, mate.
But those Constitution boys, they booked you actually, haven't they, for a thing soon?
Yeah, March 10th. With it's me. So those boys are playing. They're closing, which is going to be hilarious. And it's
when they play out. Do you know if they play the same sort of shit they play there, or?
I've never actually seen them play. Actually, probably. I'm guessing. Yeah, the audience is nodding, so I'm thinking yes. Yeah, thumbs up.
Got a thumbs up from the sound tech.
Yeah, thumbs up said yes. Donk yes. So that's gonna be fun. But it's me, Lily, A for Alpha, Lily Hugh, A for Alpha, and DJ Love.
Which is huge.
3 or 4 hours.
It's interesting that they booked DJ Love. Like obviously, I love DJ
He's got
Love.
the party tunes.
He's great, but I would never have thought that they would have made that connection. I think it's
they're boys with him.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I think part of it was like they know that we all know each other, so like a back to back where everyone knows each other and it's all just buds is like way more fun than like. I don't know. Have you ever done? Have you ever done like a random back to back?
Not a random back to back. I mean, we did. So I did the Crown, the Room 2 takeover, where it was very much like a free for all.
Yeah.
In like the purest sense, like it was very much like
overwhelming sense of free for all.
Yeah, like anyone can come down and bring their stick, and I mean it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but I like the idea of having like 4 people who are just there, like rotating all night. I think that's a good idea. I mean, how long are you guys on for?
Like 3 or 4 hours, I think. Unconfirmed.
You can really flesh it out then. You've got a chance to like.
Yeah, well, we're like starting, and I think they're only doing like the last maybe hour or like I think they even said 45 minutes, which is weirdly specific.
My goodness.
But, yeah, I mean they must have that plan to a fucking.
Yeah, they've got it
mate.
ready to go.
Yeah. I'm expecting serious theatrics. I made a pyrotechnics joke at them, and they were like, "Don't rule it out." So.
You never know with the Constitution. They always surprise, man. They always surprise. But you've been getting booked recently, man.
I've been
Like,
doing
I'm not
alright.
gonna lie, it's been coming in recently. I got like, what's the secret, man? Like, what's the secret?
I don't fucking know. I'm not really sure. Like, I guess I've been kind of on it recently. Like, I feel like I've been on it. I
In
don't
terms
know.
of what?
I've put out 2 or 3 tunes already this year, and like I've definitely noticed like an influx of people asking for mixes and shit, and like I've gotten to do like the one I did for USB, which was like all the whole hard
Yeah,
house
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Like I feel like people are kind of letting me sort of just do whatever the fuck I want, and like it's fun. Yeah, I don't really know. There's no formula to it. It's just
Do you feel like there was a time where people weren't letting you sort of do whatever the fuck you want? Or
probably not. It's probably like self-imposed rules I have on myself. But well, you just kind of feel like you need to stay in one lane for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, to get kind of like get out there and get your name out there? Because like one thing you need is consistency. I think that does help. Like if you can keep your like flow of tunes consistent and stuff, it makes you like that little bit predictable, not in a bad way, but sort of people are like, oh, I know this guy and I know that what he's released, I know what it's going to be, and I know it's probably going to be good. Like,
but
hopefully.
maybe the things that you're playing out at the minute necessarily aren't the same as the things you're releasing tunes wise.
On and off. It kind of depends, really.
Yeah. I guess you're still doing. I mean, you're still doing the garage stuff. Don't get me wrong, but you've been bringing elements of like the hard house stuff, obviously bass line, which is a whole can of worms that
Yeah.
we'll certainly
That's
get
a
into.
whole topic.
Yeah. And you know what? Fuck it. You did it.
You want
Two words for you, Longeez. He's a very famous man. You might know him.
Yeah.
He was in the Pacific Rim movie actually.
Okay.
Where
are you going with
I
this?
just want to know your thoughts on Idris Elba, really.
Yeah.
to be honest.
Oh, God. I got a lot to talk about here. So, for people, I almost like don't want to out this.
I was gonna say
because
like
we were talking about this and we both said like it's like a little secret that we've seemed to have found. I'm sure other people have done it, but like
I don't know though.
we thought we discovered a new genre. So I'm gonna burst a bubble on it. Find any Idris Elba mix, ideally the one that he did on Radar Radio.
He's got an amazing, a semi-amazing.
Yeah,
mix
I mean,
on
shout out
Radar.
Idris. I don't want to like completely shade you because you're bare famous and like
Yeah,
probably,
he's-
probably cancel me for saying that
he's
you
definitely
play boring
listening, by the
tunes.
way.
Yeah, definitely listening.
Hello,
yeah.
Idris.
But Idris, just so you know, if you speed your mixes up to 1.25 speed on YouTube, they are fucking unreal, mate. Like
They're so
it
good.
turns it into like sort of turbo bassline.
Yeah, so he plays a lot of like, I guess like tech house, bass house, that
Jacking
sort of
house,
thing, jacking
yeah.
house, whatever. And he speed it up to 160, and it's just this like crazy,
Whole different thing.
like just so like bassy, like it's almost like I was playing one yesterday, and it had like a break in it, and like I was imagining like this break when it was slowed down to do like the native BPM of like
Would've been
128.
pretty boring.
It's just like so slow and like it just wouldn't work at all. But then when you play it at 160, like the way it's supposed to be played,
Yeah.
it just obviously it works nicely because it's just like a break and it's like
Well, the way
watch out.
I think the way I look at it is like with those tunes, they're like obviously they're normally going to be like 6-7 minutes long, maybe some of them like, and they've got a lot of like potentially cool elements, but they're very far apart. So like each their own. People love that, but like we have a bit of a taste for the faster variety. So if you speed it up, it pushes all these elements together and then makes it sound like super hectic and overproduced and like kind of cool, and makes the drums sound rougher because they're just going to start aliasing and just kind of like technically sounding crud, but it sort of works in its favor, I think.
And they are like well made tunes as well. So I guess when you speed it up, it doesn't make it too like.
Nah, like sometimes the bass lines get a little bit fucky, but like
That's the fun part though.
Exactly.
That's what I thought it was anyway.
yeah.
Like it almost sounds a bit like sort of Samurai Breaks-esque. Do you know what I mean in terms of just like the beat.
Yeah. Well, it's 4/4 in it, so it's
Yeah.
like it has got that sort of like hardcorey kind of element to it. And I don't know, I think it's just jokes. Like we were at Kaleidoscope Festival, and like we were showing a couple of our mates it, and like they're all going off, and people were coming from other camps, just be like, "Yo, what are you listening to? Like, that's crazy." So I sped up Idris Elba, mate.
That was good. That was when it first started actually.
Yeah,
That was,
we'd
like, early
found
days
it. We'd
of
found
yeah.
that like the week before, and then I where Novacek stayed at ours, and I showed him, and it just blew his mind. And now he's been making loads of tech house edits at like 160.
Yeah, he's killing it at the minute. Big up Nova. Fucking absolute. Not that he needs any more.
He doesn't need our
like,
help. No,
help at all.
definitely
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah.
Do you think any of that stuff is going to really sort of start to sort of catch on in terms of like the not just like speeding up bass house, but like in terms of like I don't know, because I guess at the minute obviously you have like the garage and like the speed garage stuff is really, really pushing through.
Yeah.
But do you think you're going to start to see more of an influx of the sort of like, I guess like the sillier stuff that there is a big market for that currently, obviously, but in terms of like a lot of the nights that you're seeing with the big headliners, it's I mean, it is speed garage and like, I mean, it's a lot of edits. Obviously, I'm like the guy for that
like
for that sort of bullshit, but like it is like this is what it is at me.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
like, do you feel like things are sort of going in a more of a sort
Well, I
of,
mean, shit's sped up since lockdown, isn't it? Like, I feel like, I mean, like, what's garage's like 2-step native tempo, like 1-3-2,
well,
1-3-4.
it used to be like originally
there.
slower, man. Like it just used to be like really like crawling.
It was like
almost.
1-2-8
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Like, and now ever since, I know people just like, everything's gotten faster though, so naturally the music gets faster. Like techno's gotten really fucking fast now.
Why do you think that is?
I guess I don't really know. It's kind of an interesting one. I think like you need to keep people going a little bit more, maybe. Like people do seem to want a bit more energy at what they go and listen to, at least like the stuff that we go to. So even shows in the mixing as well, like how often do you hear stuff get to like second drop?
This is the thing, isn't it? Yeah, you don't really like you almost never really do unless someone's doing like a really like progressive sort of blend, or they can't find a tune that they want to play. Like, it's
all
one or
right.
the
I'll just let
other.
it play.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's interesting with the second drop thing. That's a good point actually, because like I remember you were making a tune the other day, your Duppy and Leave one, you know, like your bass line sort of one.
It's horrible. Don't.
It's very good. He's chatting shit. But yeah, no, and got to the second drop, and obviously the second drop is fatter. And like my thought has always been that like the second drop should always be like
hit harder,
fatter. But then also like if it doesn't get played, like what's
well,
really
it's
the
like
point?
for the chosen few who are willing to stick it out, you're gonna get a nice fucking surprise on the second.
I suppose so. It kind of feels sometimes like you might as well just make a tune.
But
with
Vic,
one
what you
drop.
forget is that people do actually just listen to this. Like, you are a good example of that. Like, do you listen to dance music pretty much?
Yes, I don't really
exclusively?
listen to. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts as well, but I'm just like on SoundCloud, like doing that. But then it's different for me because I'm not sort of just listening to it as like, oh, I like that. I like that.
No. You've got like a bit of a purpose.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sort of trying to. I'm trying to like.
But that's what I
find,
mean,
like,
though. Is like you'll listen to whole tunes then, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Or are you one of those fuckers that's skipping it? Like,
if
I give you the phone at the afters, you're like, nah, this one's actually way better.
I think if you were to give me the phone at the afters, I think it's quite rude for me to just.
Also,
like,
if you're playing music for a phone at an afters, there's a problem.
it's that.
Oh, I'm here. It gets snatched straight back off
Yeah,
him.
straight off him. Yeah, like heinous shit will come out.
I think it's one of those things listening to tunes on a phone, or it's such like a weird thing that like really.
Bluetooth cues, mate. Are you joking?
What do you mean?
I just hate it.
Bluetooth.
You know, like when like you're at a party or something, you go to like a breeze
Oh.
and they're playing like for a Bluetooth speaker and it's like a Spotify
Yes,
playlist. And
yeah,
you go to
yeah,
play
yeah,
something
yeah.
and someone's like, no, there's a cue.
Yeah, it's like the jukebox at the pub where like you have to like put your thing in the
Yeah,
key.
it's like, no, I want a Numark Mix Track Pro and bring a USB.
the one with the party lights.
Obviously the one with the party
Yeah,
lights.
yeah,
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 of course. Yeah.
But lost my train of thought. It was something about so it's the whole thing of like, oh, I'm working on this tune, like let me show you this demo, whatever. And like you're like sitting in like a kitchen with someone, probably
Yeah.
at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And they just start playing this tune on SoundCloud through their phone speakers. And like you're both sitting
That's a
there
classic.
and you both got your heads like right up to the phone and you're just sort of bouncing.
Some
your
people do that
head.
at the pub.
Yeah, no, definitely. Wherever it is. And it's such like a weird moment that like you just would never really experience if you weren't sort of like.
Nah, you'll never if you're
You know
not
what I
in
mean?
this like weird little shit that we do, you wouldn't just get people just playing tunes into your ear from a
It's in We Are Your Friends, isn't it? The
yeah.
The Zac Efron.
I
Yeah,
match it to
yeah,
the
yeah,
BPM
yeah.
of people's heart rate.
Yes. Oh my god.
I would actually say watch it. It's jokes.
If you haven't seen We Are Your Friends, it's Zac Efron and it's his.
Well, why are you explaining?
Because I have to like entice people to watch it.
It's true.
Zac Efron.
He doesn't need
He's
any
not.
help.
He's not doing very well these days. Man.
No,
You know,
he's fallen off a little bit. He
yeah.
fell off when he did High School
So
Musical.
it's Zac Efron, and he starts off as like a bedroom DJ, as we all do, and you know he slowly builds his way up, and he meets people. And there's that one scene where he's playing at like a pool party. It's very American.
Oh, it's intense.
It's very
really-
American
really
film. He's
gripped
playing
me.
like really shite like EDM or whatever it is, and there's this whole montage where
As
he's-
opposed to good E EDM.
yeah, well obviously yeah. I mean if you speed
Sorry
it up to
to all the
160,
EDM lovers.
if you speed it up to 160, mate, who knows?
Then it's
you know
good.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Anyway, Watch that film. I'm not going to go off on a tangent about
I know.
that.
I haven't got enough to chat about Zac Efron, I'm afraid.
But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I want to go back to the bassline track that you made
Yeah.
because I've been sort of waiting for a little while for this. I'm not going to lie to you.
For me to make bass
Well,
line.
in a way, yeah. To be honest, so I was very glad when it started happening. The bassline thing is certainly interesting because obviously you have people like obviously shout out like Old Boy Silver Bumper like who are like really pioneering that sort of like up north and all that sort of thing. Down here you have like maybe you have like your free party crews that are doing it, but even then like I know people who are like
sorry, that's a very different kind of like bassline sound though. Like we call it squeaky bassline. I don't know if that's the correct term for it. Maybe a free party head can correct me.
Nah, it is the correct term. Squeaky bass.
It's correct term. Yeah, but that's like very different. It's way faster and like pretty overproduced in a lot of ways and like just way lairier, I think. Whereas like early 2000 bassline stuff is like pretty stripped back and it's like there's no swing on the drums. It's like it's straight as anything. Like,
but that's the stuff that was being made. I don't know, what year would that have been? Maybe like
2000s.
Like 2000. You reckon it was as early as 2000?
Well, it started to turn into it from there. I mean, like Speed Garage was still kind of popping off like early 2000s, but that was when it was starting to like morph into, because you had people like Nathan Beeline and Warp Addicts, and even like Paul Cyril and stuff were like making tunes that were like fucking bordering on it. But, like it wasn't far off. Like,
but then the squeaky stuff.
Where did the squeaky stuff? I don't actually know where the fuck that came from. Like that's spawned from
Heaven.
SoundCloud. That is a SoundCloud creation.
You think so? No, I think that was around before SoundCloud.
Well, like I mean, you had like commercial kind of bassline sounding stuff, which I guess was a lot slower, but that had the sort of like Larry bass lines to it. But like free party bass line is like different beast.
Because it's mad to think that bassline tunes were like charting like 20 years ago.
T2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is funny. Yeah, I will again though, I reckon.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think like we were talking about that the 20-year cycle thing. I think like if it's done it once before, it could probably do it again. And if like obviously Boater did its thing. Like I know that's like a completely different end of the spectrum because that's like way more housey, but there is no reason why someone couldn't make like, you know, commercial sounding bassline tune again and it do really well. I don't think. Like I think people's ears are like everyone. It's not like it's a niche sound anymore. Like everyone knows about it. So like all it takes is that one tune to like.
You think everyone knows about it, or you think just everyone in the sort of the circles that we?
Everyone at least is aware of what it is by this point. Like I mean, I don't know what T2 got to in the charts, but like probably pretty high.
It must have been number one. For
it would have been if you were like at any kind of like age where you could understand music at that time, you probably heard that tune.
Yes.
You know.
Imagine. I mean, you must have been
it's the world I want to live in.
You must have been at least like 32 when that was. Like,
I was like 33 at the time, I think.
So you can remember that really well.
I was mate, good mates with T2. Yeah.
I was mate. Yeah. I was probably like 5 or 6 maybe. But like it's one of those things.
You weren't born yet.
It's one of those things where like when you play it, it's weird. Like I can sort of somewhat remember it from like being like a little.
Well,
kid.
like I wasn't into it at the time, so like I didn't really, you know, at the time I didn't take any notice of it. Like you hear it on the radio and that, but like I never really took any notice. And suddenly when I got into it, I heard this tune. I was like, fuck, I remember this. Well, it's like when you like early 2000s stuff when you're going to like school discos and shit. I always think about this. Like a lot of those tunes, like Crazy Frog, and like. Nice headbutt. And like,
sorry, sound
I'm trying to think of another one. Like, boom, spoon, baby.
Yes,
it's just trance, man. Like, what we were all listening to and what was like in the charts was basically just like commercialized trance music,
which was so sick.
I just think that's fucking hilarious. Like, I had no idea.
Do you think maybe that's part of sort of why the 20-year cycle is how it is because it's sort of the shit or like the style that we were listening to sort of growing up as we sort of reach that age where we're sort of influencing.
Well, I think there is some truth to that. Like you start to like kind of understand what you heard. Like I think I remember my parents playing me like Funk Soul Brother, the Fatboy Slim tune, and like back like when I was like bare young, so I didn't really understand it, but I knew I liked it because I'd like danced to it. And it's only like years later I was like, oh, it's Fatboy Slim and he's like, you know, doing what he does. Yeah, and I wouldn't have put that together otherwise. And stuff like, I mean, Venga Boys, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, yeah, I remember hearing that tune when I was younger. I was like, this is dog shit. Like, and now I play it like every set, so it comes back around.
That's so funny. Like, you can't believe that Venga Boys, like, they were like,
I would say my tastes have matured, but I kind of think that they've sort of nosedived. But
I feel like
to my benefit.
it sort of depends though, because like a lot of like the sort of hard house stuff that you're playing now is like very chuggy and like I wouldn't say mature, but like it's like relatively like
It's a bit more evil.
like big inverted commas like serious dance music. Like, do you know what I mean in terms of like?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is overly. It's fast, so I think that as soon as you introduce a 4/4 beat that's about 145 to 150, it will like you're instantly like scaring quite a few people off. I think there already, and like some of it's really fun and disco-y, but then some of it's like bordering on like hard trance and stuff.
For sure.
So it's like, yeah, I can see why it would scare people off. Maybe.
Do you find that sometimes when you're playing it out that it can
Yes.
be a bit touch and go?
Yeah, if I choose, I find out to be really careful with the ones I do because there's an artist called Pixie that makes like she used to make really good speed garages. Well, she still does actually. She's kind of started making stuff again, but she makes a lot of like hard house stuff that's like super funky and like the drums are really interesting, so you can get away with that stuff because it's kind of a little bit more palatable.
Pass me your glass.
Yes, please.
Sort you out.
That stuff's more palatable, but a lot of it like Joe wants a drink. Yeah, innit? Yeah.
Have you got a glass,
It's
Joe?
very classy.
Got one on the, oh, what, you got Vino there?
You got Maggie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cappy Morgs, mate.
Cappy Morgs. Alcohol check. Quickly.
Kafka Radio brought to you by Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan's and Magnum.
Oh, sorry, this isn't Kafka Radio. This isn't Kafka Radio. this is Chat and Breeze. Chat and Breeze. Sorry.
But I don't know, artists like Andy Farley, BK, what are they called? Sharp Boys, and a lot of stuff that came out on like Tripoli and Nucleus is all like a way more of a serious vibe to it.
I remember Tripoli was a big one for you. You were telling me about.
It's like the
Tripoli
first record label I found because like I remember I started listening to it. It was me and Joe were Secret Garden Party, and Abby A for Alpha was playing a set at this wood stage, and we got there and we were both just like, what is this? And Joe's like, it might be Scout's House. Like, I'm not sure really. Like, we didn't really know what we were listening to, and we finally clocked like, oh, it's that hard house stuff she was talking about, and like, yeah, I was fucking like so inspired by it. Like I just never heard anything like that out before. Like, and the fact that I didn't know what it was kind of made it more interesting. So I found it after a set and was like, right, I need a fucking list of shit. Like I need labels and stuff. Like I've got to get into this. And like, yeah, very quickly became
it's become a very huge thing. Like,
it's an obsession. Yeah, like I'm a bit obsessed with it. Really,
you've been producing quite a bit of it as well. You made a few of them.
I've made some bits.
I don't think. Have you got anything scheduled for release in that sort of sound or?
Yeah, I've got. So they're both on Alpha Strip Records.
That's A for Alpha's.
A for Alpha's label. Shout out Abby. I've got there's a VA coming out, and I've got a tune on there which is a hard house tune, and then I'm doing. I won't talk about too much, but I'm doing a whole EP. It's 4 tunes for me, and then we've got a pretty fun remix from someone pretty sick. Yeah.
Have you told me about that?
Probably.
I don't think you have told me about
I live
that.
with you, so I probably did tell you.
We'll
We'll
chat after.
I can't say that yet, but I'm really excited. That's like one of the releases that I'm like really fucking hyped for this year. Yeah, because it's just different stuff that I've done before. It's like higher tempo and it's stuff that I'm like really, really into. So it's almost a bit scary when you do something like that because it's like you just put it out there and just really hope that people like it.
But I think someone has to be the one to sort of take that sort of first step. And I think a lot of it is like people who are like pushing things forward. Like you sort of like your tune on the 128 comp that just came out.
Yes, volume 3.
Yeah, get it now.
Took us a year.
On Bandcamp. That
Pure laziness. That's the only reason. Just so everyone knows, there was no technical difficulties or anything. We were just fucking lazy. But it kind of is part of the charm.
Yeah, exactly. But your tune on that one is incredibly like I would say it's a hard house tune, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't really know what it is. Yeah,
So-
it's up there, I suppose. Yeah.
But that's sort of you need someone to sort of start releasing that sort of thing to sort of wake people up to it and sort of just like realize, oh, this is actually like really, really sick.
Yeah. Well, it's like there's shout. Also, Borai has got it's offbeat, isn't it? What are you looking at?
Wait, Lauren's pointing at something. What's going on?
I was saying you're on that camera.
Are we?
Mate, they're not part of this.
Yeah. What?
There's no camera on them.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Come, it's fine. We're chilling. We're chilling. The face of Kafka Radio. Yeah, come on.
I think, yeah. I mean, you just trickle it out, innit? Like if you wanna, I mean, there are people like Borai, who's part of Club Glow. He started a hard house bounce thing. Was it Offbeat?
Yeah.
Or was it something like that?
They did a mix for me like a few weeks ago.
Called
I
Offbeat,
think-
yeah,
I think so.
and it was wicked. It was all like stuff that I really love. So like, it's definitely there, and there's definitely a market for it. And I want to see it kind of come back a little bit. Like, but then I feel like, I mean, it was really big for a bit, but it was one of those unique musics that never really hit like commercial success. Like, it never got a chart tune or anything. Like, it was like you'd still get like thousands of people turn up to a rave for it, but like there was no like one tune that like launched it into like.
Why do you think that was?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the music. Like, I mean, but there's definitely tunes that I've heard. Like, honestly, if Lock and Load came out today, that would probably go in the charts.
And like House Some More and all these sorts of things.
Yeah. Like, that's all hard house stuff, and like that stuff has the capacity to like go further. And like, I mean, like, there's most sets that you go to that are going to be like exclusively 4/4 stuff, and you know they're going to play party tunes. You'll probably hear one of them. So like, I think it could have done it, but like at the time, it just exclusively stayed as like a very successful underground music. It didn't really go any further than that. And in a way, I think that's almost partly why I like it, because there's like a little bit of like lore about it. It never really got its chance to like get to that. Whether that's a good thing or not is a whole different debate.
Do you think it has the potential to get something like that? Because it can be something to be said for its like definitely like sort of murky sound. Where
I don't think it will ever get a chart tune, because I think UK chart stuff, you'll get like the odd drum and bass tune. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe someone could correct me on that. I don't actually know any.
And you'll get like your occasional boater and like all this.
That. But like, if you listen to any like the big stations or like the ones that people listen to on the regular, like Heart and all that stuff, it is like the same.
You're a regular Heart listener, yeah?
Well, so I work at Halfords in the day.
Don't out yourself.
I don't
bro.
give a fuck. I don't care.
Yeah, all your fans are gonna be running to every Halford in Bristol now.
Shout out Halfords. I hate working for you.
Oh, we'll bleep that. Don't worry, we'll bleep that.
That's fine. If I get
We
sacked,
won't,
I can
we
get
won't.
universal credit. So it's fine.
He's actually chatting gas right now. My God,
I ain't gonna watch this.
mate, you better hope your
I will do.
manager doesn't follow belters. Otherwise
Shout out
you're
Josh.
absolutely
Big up
fucked. Hey,
Josh.
big up Josh at Halford. Big up
Josh,
Josh.
you're watching. Yeah. But like, I work there, so that's radio they play. So
What
I
sort
hear
of stuff they play on Heart these days?
fucking George Ezra. Boaters on there sometimes.
Is it? That must be nice.
Which
That
is
must be
weird.
nice.
Well, it's nice, but kind of weird. It's weird hearing
is
that
weird,
like
isn't it?
on Heart FM. You know?
You remember the summer where it was sort of starting to take off a little bit,
God, yeah.
and like everybody was playing it. in
You'd hear it
every-
like 3 times a
like
week.
it was like when we went to the Kaleidoscope, the Wax Palace Festival. Shout out to the Wax Palace boys as well. Like literally, like must have heard it like at least 8 or 9 times in one.
Yeah, we
weekend.
heard that like every day you'd hear Boater, and every day you'd hear the Demolition Squad refix of it that
Yeah.
came out like a week
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
like,
Yeah. No one's playing the Belters one though. You should go download the Belters. Baddest to them all edit.
don't. Well, actually, no shade on the producer that made it.
Nah, big up Condon, absolute legend, big boy.
Someone had to do it.
But no, that summer was sick, and it kind of felt it was cool because it sort of felt like exciting, like things were like coming through, and then like the garage thing was like sort of like we were actually on something, you know what I mean?
Well, it's like, I feel like a lot of links had been made by that point. So you had a lot of people that were like talking on Instagram for a really long time, and then like in that time, not just Kaleidoscope, but I think just like in that time period in general, like everyone just started to kind of finally link up a little bit. Like there've been a couple of us that have been kind of up and down a little bit more. Like I've been up to Leeds a few times, so like I'd met them, and like Leeds and Manchester. And yeah, like a bit of London, but London's scary.
Yeah.
So
I love Leeds though. I love Leeds so much.
yeah.
Like Leeds, I've always said like if I was to live somewhere that wasn't Bristol, I would like move to Leeds because
Yeah.
it's got like such a similar sort of like vibe to Bristol in terms of like the people were just like up for having a laugh, and like the music can be a bit more like free flowing, and like there's such like a healthy underground there as well. It's all very like grassroots, at least from my experience.
Yeah.
And I mean like obviously like I feel like it is just like the Bristol of the North. So it's essentially Bristol, but hell of a lot cheaper. So I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, they
I'm
were
doing.
saying that for it. But then you
Yeah.
say that, but now like you bring Leeds and Manchester people here, and they're just like, I just want to move here. Like,
We do get that all the time actually.
Yeah.
When people from other places come to Bristol, and they're
it's
like,
fucking fun.
yeah,
dude.
and they're always like, this is unbelievable. Like I love it so much, and it's like we sort of take it for granted a little bit. I feel like,
yeah.
but it's such a good city.
I mean, just like, I mean, I don't want to like fucking bum lick it too much, but like it has always been somewhere that's like, even when I was kind of growing up, it's always somewhere that's had like an air of like inspiring creativity a little bit. Like this street, like Stokes Croft that we're near now, like
Don't out the location.
out location, yeah.
Oh, it's
Uh,
a pirate
the
thing.
addresses.
Yeah, it's a pirate thing. It's a pirate thing.
Yeah, they're gonna come for the aerial, are they? Now, but Stokes Croft years and years ago used to be like basically like a squat street. Like all the clubs and everything were like essentially squats. Like, and everything, all the things that are now like cafes and shops were all mostly art studios, and like a lot of like bare like bohemian people that lived here. And yeah, I think that even though a lot of it's arguably quite gentrified now,
I was gonna say, yeah, the wave is sweeping.
yeah, but that's a long fucking topic I don't really want to talk about.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it's that air of it's still there. Like you have shit like the Turbo Island that like even though they've tarmacked it, people are still lighting fires on it.
There was a big fire on there like 2 days ago.
There was,
I saw a video of a guy getting wrestled to the ground
By
by
police
police
officers,
for starting
yeah.
this little like fireman.
Thing is, mate, you can still light a fire on tarmac. It doesn't really.
Oi,
matter.
everyone that's listening, yeah, you light fires on turbo. okay?
Light
You can
fires,
still do
don't
it.
stop.
You can still
We
do
gotta
it. Keep
keep
it
the fire
going. Oh,
burning.
my mic's falling out. You can keep setting fires to turbo.
Keep
Island.
turbo burning.
Yeah.
Yeah, like oh.
my mic just fell off the thing.
Because I remember, like, before I went to uni, you used to be able to go to, like, jungle raves on Turbo. Like, it used to happen a little bit after lockdown. Like, Bear Pit used to be like that as well. Like, you just turn up and there'd just be a rig on Turbo. And you just be like, all right, guess this is what I'm doing.
Because
Like,
when I first moved to Bristol, I had a mate who lived there. He's Finley. He's not listening, but big up Finley. And he was like, "Yeah, man, like goes to these parties on Turbo Island. Like it's a bit far. It's a little bit up Stokes Croft." And I was living like deep in the centre at the time, so I remember he was telling me sort of where it was, and I was imagining it was like sort of out.
yeah,
In the,
but no, it's like slap bang in the center.
It's
Yeah.
so central. Like
Yeah.
to have a place like that that's so central.
Yeah.
That like for ages, and I mean, arguably it's less so now because of all the bullshit that the fucking council have been doing. But
Shout out the council.
yeah, shout out the council. Oh, big up Marvin Rees.
Open the bridge to Bedminster again.
Yeah, what's going on? Actually, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
it takes
yeah.
me so long to get into town
Mate,
now.
honestly, that fucking bridge, bro. They closed it for like a year.
You know Cortis. Shout out Cortis. He walked across it with no boards on it. He was like, "Yeah, mate, it's easy. Like, just climb over."
Yeah, Cortis is an absolute.
It's like I'm not
nutcase,
doing
bro.
that.
I can imagine him probably like.
I've never needed to get home that desperately.
I can imagine a half-cut Cortis like sort of wandering along this fucking thing.
Yeah, it'd be a sight to behold. Yeah.
But now, I mean, it's interesting. I can imagine like a little like sort of 17-year-old Longeez like cutting about a different Stokes. You know what I mean?
Completely
like,
different. Yeah, back in the day.
This was 10 years ago. Like, was it noticeably different 10 years ago? Would you say?
Yeah. No, Bedminster was definitely different as well. But like Stokes Croft particularly was way scuzzier, I think. Like in a way, like it's less threatening now, definitely. Like not that it was that bad back then, but it was like heavily under policed. Like, and I mean, as a street, it kind of regulates itself for the most part. You still get the odd, I'll call them characters. You still get characters. on there.
Certainly.
Yeah, but back then it was a lot more like, because obviously it was mostly squats and stuff. It was just kind of madness all
So
the
what
time.
places didn't exist, say, 10 years ago on Stokes? Because I wasn't in Bristol.
I mean,
Bristol boy,
Crofters had a different name.
What was it called?
I can't remember.
I've heard
to be
someone
honest.
say it to me before, but yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's cool, but it had a different name. Cross had a different name. Lovin's kind of always been there.
Sorry, what's Lauren laughing at?
Basically, someone,
Wait, get the mic.
Check.
Yeah, you go.
yeah, my friend just messaged me to send me a picture of a DJM 700 and said it's just been left in their house from the last tenants.
Oh,
So,
so they
yeah.
got
700.
Yeah, DJM, like a mixer
Really?
for free.
Not bad. Does it work? Yeah, take it cash.
Nah, we'll take it. We need one.
700's
We're using Dan. We're using
Is
Dan's
that a
like.
good mixer?
What's your mixer at the minute, Dan? Tell the people about your mixer,
Mixer
Dan.
talk. I have got a, what is it? Reloop RMX.
It's basically it's a
400.
knockoff DJM. Just say what it is, man.
That is exactly what it is, and that's why I bought it. Like, it's the layout. Like, I wanted This is nerdy. I wanted filter per channel.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong.
I didn't
with
want
that.
none of that zone shit. So,
No.
sorry if you use zones, but you're
Yeah, I don't.
EQ. Like,
I mean,
eats everything. Loves
yeah. Me and Joe were chatting about this yesterday about the
shout
format.
eats everything.
Yeah. Big up, Easy. I know you're listening.
Bell is everything. Yeah. He's a Bristol boy, isn't he?
Yeah, apparently I don't fucking know.
He is.
but-
There's a chip shop. Is it the one at the bottom of Park Street? Oh no, there's a chip shop in Bristol. You know the one?
Oh, what's it called? What's the district called at the bottom of Park Street? It's like a phrase. Obviously, it's a phrase.
It's the name.
Listen, if you're in Bristol, the one at the bottom of Park Street.
There, Eats Everything did a gig there, and it was jokes.
He did one at Pizza Bianchi as well. I
He did
spotted
do one
that.
at Pizza Bianchi. Pizza Bianchi do stuff fairly often.
Really? I'd
Well,
never
Felix
seen
Joy does stuff there all the time, and like a couple of the Swoo, R.I.P. Swoo.
one. I was about to bring up Sue actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah, go on then.
Well, no, carry on. No, keep moving.
I mean, yeah, a lot of the ex Swoo people play on there.
I know. Yeah, we can't actually talk about rival stations, can we?
That's
Sorry.
what I was like. I mean,
Sorry.
they're dead anyway.
Hey, Lily, who in the building? God, we got a mighty crowd forming now. My God.
Mighty crowd, Jesus, for the last. What is it like last?
Yeah. Where we at time wise?
I think last 10.
How long has it been on for? Oh, we're chilling. We're
last
chilling.
15.
Cool. We're all good. We're all good. We're all good.
Let's have it, yeah.
We'll roll till. We'll roll till.
What was I talking about?
The Kafka Radio #1 competitor, Swoo FM.
Swoo FM. R.I.P. Rest in peace, Swoo. Yeah. It was around the corner from us, wasn't it?
It was so close to us, and I only went there once, played one tune, clanged it. So
Yeah. So that's a story. So we were doing. It was me, Lily, Joe, and Slip. Charlie. Shout out Charlie. And we were covering Dr. Dubplate's show on there. And we brought Miles along to read the text and be pure like gas man purposes. And
know
he went,
how it
no,
is.
I don't want to mix. I want to mix. And we get there and he's fighting. Like, was it you? Was it Joe? Yeah, Joe says like, oh, go on, mate, have a blend. And it's the only blend he did the entire show. I don't even know what you did, but it was,
well, I remember the exact tune. It was a Paul Jadar tune. So shout out Paul, shout out Andreas. Big up
the
Andreas.
best Greek.
Yeah.
the
Well,
best.
well,
There's a lot of good
I haven't met all
Greeks
the
out there. I haven't
but,
met many
yeah,
Greeks, but he's a good one.
He's a pretty good one.
The turtleneck game is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. mate. Anyway, I played this one tune. I don't remember the jump blending it into, but I just fucking clanged it so hard. And it's that feeling of being like, shit, like this is like my first. This is my first
this
ever
is FM radio.
This is FM
bro.
radio.
Like,
It's my first ever like experience. Really, like I mean, maybe I had like an. I played on like an online station for a bit, but I never really sort of played live like in a studio. I don't think. Maybe
no,
10,
I don't think-
maybe 10, 20 once like guesting on something, but
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
we're just naming all of the rival stations right now. We're just giving them plugs all day.
Yeah, way better than this lot. Way better.
Now they haven't got a camera, so
That's
it's,
true.
you know.
Yeah, camera, sick lights. Yeah, and Tom's bed's right there, so that kind of
Yeah,
adds to it.
exactly. Yeah. No, it's not in a house. It's in a professional studio.
Yeah,
It's in a
obviously.
studio
Yeah.
space.
No, it's deep underground.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
deep
yeah,
underground.
yeah. We've got like,
Don't tell me
like
the area
60
is.
foot of dirt above us right now. You wouldn't
Bunkers
believe.
shit.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
would not believe.
Yeah.
But nah, I mean, Swoo was a shame that had to shut down. Really. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, it was the one that you could like, if you were like in your car or like your mate's car, it's the one like if they're playing shit tunes, you can just like, I'll just stick on Swoo in it. Like you knew it was going to be good. I think you can still go back to it. They're still playing pre-records. This is
Are
the funny
they?
thing about it is the antenna's still live, but I know Ollie, who's the station manager, he works for Rinse now.
They
So-
snapped him up quick.
They
must
snapped
have
him up
done,
quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure that mic's off.
Make sure. So Joe
Jesus,
Koshin
in-
has a.
Yeah, keep turning
Wait,
it off whenever I want to talk, guys. Don't worry about me.
Oh, big.
Word, this is all hearsay, but word on the street is that Rinse might be giving Swoo a little helping hand to get
This
them
is
back on
what
their
I've
feet.
heard.
I didn't want to say anything because I wasn't
Yeah.
sure what we were actually allowed to say.
Nah, fuck it, I don't care.
But yeah, fuck it, we're getting loose.
Boycott belters.
Yeah. I mean, it would be amazing to see Swoo make like a triumphant return because it's a fucking great
I
station.
miss it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss it. It was good. Like, you could just stick it on, like, had the app and everything.
It's one of the
like,
It's one of the ones was like in a car in it where it's like
Yeah.
you put-
And like, it was like, I don't know, it just wasn't really much like it on FM, really. Like, I mean, I guess that's the, I mean, these obviously stations like this are the ones that actually keep the scene really alive. Like they're more for like people coming in out of town and like the fucking like big donnies. But like I don't know. Honestly, I would much rather play for something like this.
100%, no doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
Yeah.
100%.
It's more fun. Like as fun as Swoo was for all of us, I think we could probably
I got my fingers crossed behind my back, by the way.
Not that I'm shading Swoo, because like obviously it was like amazing opportunity to get to play in that studio. It was a beautiful studio, but like that is a very professional environment. Whereas if you walk into something like this or any of the smaller ones, yeah, I'll just name them all, innit? Well, if you walk into like a station like this, it's just more of a fun environment, innit?
100%. Like obviously, like
when they let us do this shit.
Exactly. Imagine going up to Swoo, yeah, and saying, "Look, guys, like, hear me out,
DJs
right?
and PJs.
Hear me out, yeah. I want to get to come down with my mate, and we're just gonna just drink, and we're just gonna just chat absolute waffle for an hour.
Like, absolutely not.
And
I've been pretty
yeah,
pissed in the
sound,
Swoo
mate.
studio before, though.
Yeah,
I think we were all pretty licked at that.
You're a cool DJ, so you can say that. I'm not cool enough.
Yeah, and you clanged your one mix.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
But it is sick about not to bang on about all the other small stations, but like it is sick that like recently you have seen almost like around the time that Swoo started to sort of like fade away.
Well, it's a gap, wasn't it?
A gap has definitely opened up for that sort of thing. And like for me, as someone that's like, and you and like everyone in this room, as someone that like really like champions the underground, like it's really nice to see people who maybe don't have a platform sort of start to get these platforms and offer these like
like that's how it actually moves forward, isn't it? Like like, as much as like we all love like certain people and like the kind of the big guys doing it, like you need it's like platforms for people to like non-threatening platforms that people can come on and actually just do their thing. Like
Definitely.
I think there's a lot of cities that I don't want to. That's like probably a big opinion.
Here we go.
I don't know.
I
I just feel like here. I mean, someone please correct me if I'm wrong and fill me in because I would generally like to know. But like,
wait. Hot takes with Longeez.
I would like to know, but I do think Bristol has like there's a lot of stuff that's popped up here recently that people can just fucking turn up at, and maybe they've mixed once, or like maybe they've mixed a shitload of times.
Shout out USB Mondays.
Yeah, like USB and like. They used to do Elevator. I really wish they used to do this. They still do this even. But it was you submitted your tunes to a Dropbox or I think it was a Google Drive. Is
this Escher?
Escher, that was it. Yeah, and they turn up. You turn up, and then they just DJ all through the tunes that they got sent, and it was really cool because like you knew the whole room was full of producers who were waiting for their tune to get played, and when someone's tune could get played, you could just see them smiling in the corner, and they'd be like, "Oh, fucking sick!" Like.
I got to say, I got to give props to CDR because they've been doing that for a long time as well. One of my lecturers run that, so I can't really let that go by the wayside without saying anything.
But that's facts. But like, but shit like that is like so important because it's just like, it gets generally introverted people in a room to appreciate each other's music, which is already sick, and it's like very non-threatening, and it's just you just turn up and like. And you make lots of friends through doing it. Like, I met a lot of people just going to those nights and, like, just getting gassed on their tunes. Like, that's the best bit. Is like, you're getting gassed on someone's tunes that's actually in the room and they've never heard that tune played out before. Maybe even never heard their tune played out at all. Like, and that's a mad feeling. When you first hear, you're like, I don't know, you've probably been in the same position, Joe, where, like, you're just out at a night and then suddenly, like, one of your tunes starts playing and it is, like, the most surreal fucking experience because it's like, you never think that it even reaches that far, you know?
That's got to be a moment, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah, man, like the people I've talked to from like different countries and shit, and like the stuff that I got to do with, you know, whatever, like playing Turkey and stuff. So that's mad.
Oh, yeah, Longeez is an international DJ, by the way, guys.
I've done one international gig.
In Turkey, though, I'd say that's pretty international.
Yeah, no,
Turkey's not
actually, big shout out to the Bad Mash boys because they were honestly I love all my promoter mates, but they were the best. They were just so sound, like, really accommodating. They really tried to like show us the city. Like Istanbul's beautiful and like the best crowd.
Yeah, it looked unreal. It looked
Ever.
so good.
Ever. Like so good.
I tried to hide in your suitcase.
Or you UK lot, you can learn from them. I swear.
Wait, listen up, promoters. Here we go. Let's start naming names. Come on.
No.
Nah, we'll leave that. We'll leave that.
No shade.
But nah, I mean, it's things like Escher and like things like that things like USB where like it feels like that is sort of what you need for a scene to really be like healthy. It's
Definitely. It's like
newcomers,
DIY nights, and people that just aren't afraid just to put nights on as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Crown's really good because they're kind of the first one you do there's free.
Mm-hmm.
And
if anyone's looking to put an event on,
you've never done promotion before, that's a very good place to start.
the Crown offer the first night. I'm pretty sure is free hire.
Sorry, Orion, if that's wrong now.
No, it's no. Yeah, I'm not sorry. He's gonna get so many people coming to him. So go to Orion, go USP Bristol Instagram, give him a shout. He'll sort you out because it's a wicked venue. He's so friendly. He just wants to like give a leg up to like just people like trying to make their way and like trying to like start up in the scene.
Yeah. Like I like with that guy, it's almost like he's got blinders on to like all the massive people. All he gives a shit about is like dudes you've never heard of.
He loves it. Like he's got a night like start of March, mid-March, where it's like Disaffected, Muna, Fear, and Rhea, I think.
Yeah, probably.
And he was just getting so excited, being like, "Oh, I never thought I'd have a night like this."
Yeah, it's not bad for the crowd.
Like, Disaffected and Muna, and like he's just like, "Oh my god!" And like, don't get me wrong, they're awesome DJs. But like he's treating it like it's like interplanetary or something.
Yeah, I know, but I love that. Like that energy
is so good. No, it's great. It's
that
so
energy is
good.
amazing because like you've got to like it just like it makes these people feel like a lot of those people are now going to go on to do really cool shit because like this one guy is just told them that they're great, you know, and like actually encouraged it instead of being. I mean, obviously it's fine getting like constructive criticism. You all need it from time to time, but you also need someone like him just to have faith in you and just book you, like, you know, and just say like, yeah, have a go. Like,
And he loves the promotion. Are you good for a drink? Or
I'm good. But
You
what was he doing? He was
You want a drink? have you got a cup? Is there a cup floating around?
hang on.
Yeah, mate. No worries. Yeah. No, we do. All right. Well, there you go. I suppose. Do you not want refill?
No, I'm good.
You know
I've
what?
still got to finish a Magnum.
Oh, he's all right.
He's all right. But whilst Bells is pouring drinks, no, it's super important. Like you're gonna see, like I mean, someone like Rhea, who's like she's probably gonna do quite well, I reckon. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she's already crushing it. She's not even been about.
Yeah,
for like
productions
a long time.
and all of that. Yeah, like it's mad what it breeds.
And you see someone like Orion who runs like the USB and like the Crown events. Well, like, I was with him the other week, and I was playing on Valentine's Day. We went back to back. Ended up being back for Disaffected and Rear, which is fucking sick. But before we were having a drink at Mother's Ruin just opposite, and they were doing the pub quiz there. And he literally went up to the guy running the pub quiz and like jumped on the mic. I was like, "Oh, everyone, there's this event happening Valentine's Day. Like it's at the Chris free entry. Like so and so back to back. So blah, 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 like." And he gave the mic to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, come give me a spoon behind the decks." Like all this sort of thing. And then like we went and sat down in Mother's Ruin, and he got the poster up on his phone and was like airdropping it to everybody. In the venue.
Everybody in there.
Like he just loves it. And like
take note.
exactly,
You should utilize airdrop more.
like exactly,
honestly.
it's a powerful tool. And
It's a
like,
powerful tool.
and it's inspiring. To see
Everyone leaves their airdrop on.
yeah, mate, you wouldn't
Everyone
believe
leaves
it. You
their
would not
airdrop on.
believe it.
I
mean,
do.
I'm an Android boy personally, so you know
When you get on a Megabus and you get sent a
yes,
random airdrop.
the photo of the
Do
feet.
I-
Who was I with? Was that with you, Joe? Where we got the photo. Someone airdropped me the photo of the disgusting feet.
All sorts. It's me that started that off, I think. We were on the bus to London, innit? And I can't remember what I sent a picture of. It was just like one of those little troll dolls, I think.
Yeah,
Just had a picture of that on my
With the
camera
hair
roll.
in it. Yeah.
And then, ended up with like, there must have been like 20 participants just pinging off pictures of like feet and like all sorts. Like, it was grim, mate.
Shout out airdrop.
The most horrible feet as well. I can't even want to think about
Where'd you find those feet?
It was my feet.
It's your feet.
Well, yeah, you don't,
Joe
mate,
Coaching's got clapped feet.
You don't even want to know. You don't even want to know. But no, it's things like that where it's like even like the power of like a stupid little tool like airdrop that you would
can
not
work.
think.
Yeah.
You're just sitting in the pub being like, everyone look at this. It's across the road and it's free and it starts in an hour.
Mate, you
can make such a difference.
Yeah.
Like it really can.
He's been smart with it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Like-
like people like Orion
And also, like, I kind of want to shout out. Was it Saffron that you learnt to DJ through? Yeah. So like Saffron as well. Like they've been. I think they did Love In a lot, but and I don't know where the studio was that they did it, but it's all females, isn't it? Yeah, and that's like it creates a platform, non-binary, and it creates a platform for people like that to like actually go and no intimidation. You just go and learn how to mix, and then they get you to a show, and like that's sick because like that's I don't know. It could be intimidating for a lot
sure.
of people.
I mean, that's maybe started in, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like maybe the last like 5 years, saffron wasn't a thing before that. So it does seem like in the last few years, there's been like a big push for like, we need to sort of really, because we have the means now, like the internet is a crazy thing. We have the means to provide platforms for people in a way that realistically, all it costs is the same cost
It's the same.
It's the same cost you're paying to scroll on Instagram and like waste fucking 3 hours on TikTok.
You need these things to encourage people. At the end of the day, we want as many people to be in. Like the part of the reason that we do this is because we want people to nerd out as much as we do and like love it as much as we do. And the only way you're going to do that is by like providing spaces for people to go and nerd out. Like that's how I see it. It's like these places aren't. Yeah, you learn to mix and all that, but it's also just a place where you can just fucking like be a nerd about music and we're all very privileged that we have like this amazing group of friends that are like all fucking geeks and like just you know like and it's sick.
I love it.
But I accept that a lot of people aren't that lucky in it. So like it's somewhere like that they can go and meet other people that are, and then that's like it goes beyond having like a platform to just learn how to mix. Like you're then just actually just making potentially mates for life doing that. Like
it's not what you know, it's who you know, baby.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think on that inspiring note,
that was good actually.
What are we saying? What's time?
We are.
Are we an hour?
We're done.
Look at that. See, I got a little timer in my head. We're good. So
unreal.
Before we close out, I got Longeez. Obviously, he opened with that amazing Fonzo tune, which none of you are gonna get because it's not out. Sorry. I also asked him to come up with one to close on as well, just to sort of see us out.
You might want to keep talking because I got to find it.
He's got to find it, so I'm just going to keep talking.
The thing is I know the one that I want to choose, and I think you all know what it is as well.
I've got no idea.
You definitely know. You definitely. Joe wants the mic on.
Can we have guesses on what it might be?
Yeah, of course.
I reckon it's going to be Sade.
You reckon?
Oh, right. Sade.
Interesting. Okay.
What, original mix.
Does anyone else want to chime in? Anyone else? Anyone else in the audience?
I mean,
go on, Lily. What you got?
Burger Boy.
Oh, good choice. Good choice. Yeah.
Can you tell us the BPM?
Fast. Fast.
It's not Burger Boy.
170.
Okay. Oh, okay. I know what it is.
Is it Mackie G Tour?
No, I know what it is. I know what it is. So this, I'm gonna let you introduce it. But
right. Okay. So Miles played this. Shout out G because
shout out George and Mackenzie. Yeah, come on.
George, you want to like?
Out in Australia, mate.
Yeah,
Bali now. Or something.
Yeah, Australia, mate.
She's back in Australia now. Yeah.
Australia now. Whenever you come back. Yeah, Georgia gave you this tune.
She gave it to me like maybe like two, like I want to say like two years ago. It was probably more
and
like
you hated
1.5.
donk at the time,
and I was like, because she used to love all her like super fast like free party like donk and all this shit. And I was first saying it to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is dead, whatever." And then like 6 months ago,
ouch.
6 months, she's not gonna listen.
No.
At least, and if she is, she's not gonna get this far in.
No. Shout out Georgia.
And then a few months, like 6 months ago, it was right before I played my first Kafka show. I found it again, and I was like, "This is fucking ginormous." And we closed on it. And stop looking at your watch. Time doesn't matter.
Sorry, I've got a set at 11. By the way,
he's fine. He's fine. And basically, yeah, it's just a mental fucking donk tune. Introduce it.
Okay. This is Garage by Garage, and it's called How to Save a Life. Life spelled Lyfe, because it can't be spelled normal.
Right. We'll say our goodbyes before we play it.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, go on then.
Oh, thank you for listening to the first episode of Chat and Breeze with Longeez and Belters.
Big up. Thank you for.
I mean, there'll probably be another one soon.
Having me?
Yeah, no worries, mate.
I guess.
Hey, you're welcome back. You're welcome back.
No doubt I'll be lurking in the background.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah,
but yeah, big up for tuning in. Big up Kafka for hosting us in their wicked studio. And yeah, this is Garage, How to Save a Life.
here to go